Shalom Israel, and welcome to another edition of Yashar's 20-minute breakdown, where I'll attempt to break down the scriptures within 20 minutes. But first and foremost, as always, you know how we do. We give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Waha, Rakah, Kodash, and the Akims and the elders in the highways and byways pushing this word in truth and sincerity, all praises. And the elder women teaching the younger women, all praises to you too. And the camps and the solar brothers going out there, making videos, edifying the body, pushing the truth according to scriptures, all praises. Now, what I want to touch on today is the book of 2 Peter, chapter 3 and verse 8. Well, I want to bring it in its context, because that's the verse where it says, one day with Yahweh is as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as one day. Now, I want to show the understanding of that verse, yeah? Because we know the Most High is the Ancient of Days. So he's outside of time. So time doesn't, have relevance with him. But he put certain things in the scripture. So we have an idea of a time span. Yeah? So that's what that's, going into. And I'll show that point as we get into this lesson. So I'm going to... My opening verse is going to be 2 Peter chapter 3 verse 8. Then I'm going to go through some other verses. Then I'm going to revisit 2 Peter 3 verse 8. And then I'm going to show that meaning of that verse, what that verse actually means. Yeah? Now, I've got my timer ready. So I'm going to start my opening verse with 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 8. So without further ado, I have my timer. I'm going to start in 3, 2, 1. Boom, we're away. Let's go straight there. The book of 2 Peter, chapter 3 and verse 8. And it reads, 2 Peter, chapter 3, verse 8. But, beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing. Yeah? So he said, be not ignorant. Don't be unlearned of this one thing, that one day is with Yahweh as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as one day. Now that's the opening verse. Now, some people might say, you see, 1 year is 1,000 days and 1,000 days 1 year, but that's not quite what it's saying. I'm going to show you that. First and foremost, Let's jump to the book of Genesis. This is in creation. Excuse me. So when we go to Genesis, I'm going to just jump to Genesis chapter 1 and verse 5. Now, this is creation. This is when, the Most High, through Yahweh spoke things into existence. Now, watch this, yeah? Genesis chapter 1 verse 5, and it reads, and the Most High called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. So now, showing you this is a day period, This is even in the morning was the first day. Watch this. I'm going to read a few more from Genesis, and I'm going to show you something that Yahweh Shai actually says. Now, watch this. I'm going to stay in Genesis chapter 1. I'm going to jump down to verse 14 to 19. Now, watch this, yeah? Genesis chapter 1 verse 14, and it reads, and the Most High said, let there be light in the firmaments of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years. Notice it's for days and years, not the weeks, but I'm going to show you that. Watch this. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. So as he said that, it was so. It was done. Watch this, verse 16. And the Most High made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. So we see the moon come into play. Yeah? And the Most High set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And verse 18, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And the Most High saw that it was good. Here we go, watch this. Verse 19. And the evening and the morning were the fourth day. Showing you that now when the moon was created and the firmament and the stars and all that, we were now in the fourth day. So remember, the week is already in play. Yeah? Yeah? And when you read above, it shows that like the moon there was created for like the signs and for season and for days. Because why? In the moon, when the moon is showing, meaning when you see new moon in the scriptures, it just means new month. It's when, the month comes in, and you'll find that when you got the new moon, it's the first day of that month. But it doesn't necessarily always mean it's the first day of that week. It's the first day of that month. But that's for another lesson, totally. But anyway, nevertheless, watch this. Now, when we jump to Genesis chapter 2, verses 2 to 3, watch this. Genesis chapter 2 and verse 2, and it reads, And on the seventh day, the Most High ended his work, which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work, which he had made. Verse 3, And the Most High blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work, which the Most High created and made. Showing you that when those full 7 days completed, and now he rested. Now that's as what we know today as a week. So that's continually, there's no break. 7 days, 1 day to 7 day rest, 1 day to 7 day rest. That's perpetual. There's no break in that. That's a perpetual cycle. There's no break. There's no extension of days. There's no lesser. It's 7, 1 to 7, that's the break. 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 All the way for forever. That's it. Now, watch what Yahushua said. Now, when we jump to the book of John, chapter 11 and verse 9, watch this. John chapter 11 verse 9, and it reads, Yahushua answered, which is the one you call Christ. Yahushua answered, Are there not 12 hours in the day? If any man walk in the day, he stumbleth not, because he seeth the light of this world. He seeth the light of this world. So remember he said, the point I wanted there, he said, are there not 12 hours in the day? Yahushua is showing us clearly that you got from sunrise to sunset, there's 12 hours, which is the light period, the day. And then you got from sunset to sunrise, which is the dark period. That's how you complete 24 hours for a full day. But remember, when Yahushua is saying this, the daylight period is from sunrise to sunset. When the sun starts going down, that's when you're losing light. That would consider in the day. And then, the daylight. And then you got from sunset to sunrise is the next 12 hours to complete the 24 hours. Now, that's a day. That's what the Most High is showing us what a day consists of, is a full 24 hours. Now, watch this. Now, when you jump to the book of Ezekiel, chapter 3, Ezekiel chapter 4, verses 3 to 6, watch this. Ezekiel chapter 4 and verse 3, and it reads, Moreover, take thou unto thee an iron pen. Now this is the Most High telling Ezekiel to do this because Israel, the house of Israel and the house of Judah had sinned. Now, they're going to get their judgment, how long they're going to have this impedance that they're going to have to go through. Now, when it says here, moreover, take thou unto thee an iron pen. An iron pen, if you write with an iron pen, it cannot be changed. It stands. That's all. That's written in stone, basically. That's going to happen. It's going to stand. That's all that's saying. Well, let me take it from the top again. Ezekiel chapter 4 and verse 3, and it reads, Moreover, take thou unto thee an iron pen, and set it for a wall of iron between thee and the city, and set thy face against it, and it shall it shall be besieged, and thou shalt lay siege against it. This shall be the sign to the house of Israel. Now watch this. Verse 4. Lie thou also upon thy left side, and lay the iniquity of the house of Israel upon it, according to the number of the days, hear that? The number of the days that thou shalt lie upon it. Thou shalt bear their iniquity. Watch this, verse 5. For I have laid upon thee the years of their iniquity, according to the number of days, 390 days. So shalt thou bear the iniquity of the house of Israel. So showing you there that the Most High has laid for the iniquity 390 days, which is going to be 390 years, that the house of Israel, that he's put, like, that's the impediment for the house of Israel. But watch this. Verse 6. And when thou hast accomplished them, lie again on thy right side, and thou shalt bear the iniquity of the house of Judah. 40 days I have appointed thee, each day for a year. You see that? So each day for a year. So Ezekiel had to lie on his left side 390 days. And when he had accomplished that, he had to turn and lie on his right side 40 days. And those days are for years for us. So he's showing us this is what we're going to have to go through. When you add 390 and 40 comes to 430 years. That was the impediments the Most High put on the house of Israel and the house of Judah. Even though Judah sinned less, but because he judges as a nation, we all had to do the 430 years. 390 years for Israel and the 40 years for Judah. Everybody has to do, the whole 12 tribes has to do 430 years. Now, just want to show this as well. It's the same thing in Numbers, where remember when we left Egypt under Pharaoh, and Moses, by the hand of the Most High, brought us out into the wilderness, and we dwelt in the wilderness 40 years. But because you remember, we were supposed to spy out the land, and only Joshua and Caleb came with good reports. The others didn't. So we had that iniquity, which was this. Numbers chapter 14, verse 34. And it reads, after the number of days in which ye search out the land, even 40 days, each day for a year, shall ye bear your iniquities, even 40 years, and ye shall know my breach of promise. Now, there, just showing that those are days, yeah? So he's showing you that those days were going to represent years. In Genesis, those days were days, yeah? Like, from sunset to sunrise to sunset. Those were full 24 hours. Those were days. This one now, this days, in its context, showing you that it was the iniquity of the bear. We had to do the days we went off. They were going to be years for us. Now, when we go back to 2 Peter chapter 3 verse 8, watch this again. Let me read that again. 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 8, and it reads, but beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day is with Yahweh as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as one day. Now, to get that understanding of that now, you have to go to the book of Hosea, chapter 6, and we'll do from 1 to 3. Watch this. Hosea chapter 6 verse 1, and it reads, come and let us return unto Yahweh, for he has torn, and he will heal. So he has broken us down, he will heal us, And it reads on, he has smitten, and he will bind us up. So he's cast us off, but he'll, he's bruised us. He'll heal us. He's cast us off. He'll welcome us back, but we've got to repent. Now watch verse 2. Here's the point. Verse 2. After 2 days, he will revive us. And listen to this. After 2 days, he will revive us. in the third day he will raise us up, and we shall live in his sight. Now there's the point there. Now when you go back to 2 Peter 3 verse 8, that's where it makes sense. Watch this, the book of 2 Peter chapter 3 verse 8, and it reads, "But beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day is with Yahweh as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as one day." Now you see that? So when you go now back to Hosea chapter 6 verse 2, and it reads there, Hosea chapter 6 verse 2, "After 2 days will he revive us. In the third day, he will raise us up." See that? And that's where we are now. We're in that third day. Because you remember, from the point of Yahushua to now, it's been that 2,000 years. So now we're in, and that's the 2 days. We're in that third day right now. And this is where he's raising us up, where we're remembering who we are, and we're coming back now, repenting to keep his commandments in his sight. That's what that's going into. Now you see, you have different contexts for the word day, because in Genesis, that day was actually day, 24 hours. And in Ezekiel, that day was a year for every day. And in the book of John, when Yahushua said there's 12 hours in the day, that day was referring to the daylight period of the day. And now you see in 2 Peter, that day was 1,000 years is one day. That's what the difference are with them days. Because it says here in Hosea chapter 6 verse 2, after 2 days will he revive us. Now, after 2 days, now when you look at, this 2 days is talking about one day for 1,000 years, the next day for 1,000 years, because after 2 days, which 2 days, when you precept it with 2 Peter chapter 3 verse 8, 2 days would be 2,000 years. Now, when you look at the time span from Yahushua when he was crucified and resurrected to now, it's after 2,000 years. You see? Because he says after 2,000 years, he will revive us. See, we are being revived now. Because if you look at, men are coming back to the commandments, so is women. We're learning who we are. We are being revived. The Spirit is being put on men and women, and we're now knowing who we are. That's the reviving after 2 days, which is the 2,000 years, a day which is 1,000 years. That's the precept for Hosea chapter 1 and Hosea chapter 6 and verse 2. Now, watch what he says here in verse 3. Hosea chapter 6 and verse 3. He says, "Then we shall know." Listen to this, this is the point as well. "Then we shall know, if we follow on to know Yahweh, he's going forth, is prepared in the morning, and he shall come unto us as the rain, as the latter and former rain upon the earth." Now you see that? So, like the former rain, which is the former understanding, we are now getting in the latter days. That's what that's going into. Because remember, when you jump back up to Hosea 6, and when you jump back up to verse 2 of Hosea 6, verse 2, it says, after 2 days. After 2 days. So after 2,000 years, this is when we're being revived. And when you look at the time span, like you say, even from Hosea when this was written, to Yahushua coming and dying, to now, it's after 2,000 years. That's the between point. That's the after. So all that is after 2,000 years, which is the period we're in now. And that's why we're being revived, And now we're getting the former rain in the latter days. That's what that's referring to, So that was just a quick understanding I wanted to give of 2 Peter chapter 3 verse 8 in its context. So this is now where you see we are being risen up, and we are no more being under the spell of Christianity. A lot of brothers, I mean, there are still some that are, but there are a lot of brothers, yeah, and sisters that are now awakened and are embracing this truth. And we're no longer under the spell of Christianity and Islam, which is the two biggest religions on the planet. And they're the ones that are responsible for the destruction of our minds, our people's minds, yeah? Because you remember, you had the sub-Sahara slave trade, and then you had the transatlantic slave trade. All those two major slave trades, yeah, destroyed our people. And one of the large slave port is in Mecca, yeah? So, showing you that those are the people that destroyed us mentally, why we don't know who we are today. But now we are being given the former rain in the latter days, as it explains in Hosea chapter 6 and verse 3. And now we're awakening and we're coming back to who we are. And, when you know this, you got to grab hold of it with both hands and don't let it go. And don't let nobody give you any sweet words to pull you back out of the truth where we were before, when we heard this truth and realized to ourselves, you know what? This is true. It makes sense. Now we know who we are, what we must do, and all we got to do is continuing teaching others. Because the sooner we do this, sooner that the elect is sealed, then you'll see a turn in everything. Yeah? So that was just a quick message I want to say. So I hope I made sense. I tried to keep it as simple as possible. But hey, I hope I made sense. But with that, this is Yasharallah. We out.